Namaskar, welcome to EPG Pathshala program. I am Dr. Mithilesh Nayan Bhatt, Assistant Professor of Law at Sardar Patel University of Police, Security and Criminal Justice, Jodhpur. Today's module is all about the charge sheet, final report and case diary. Now, what are the learning outcomes of this module? To make learners understand about the charge sheet and to make learners understand about the legal provisions related to charge sheet. Further, to make learners understand about the features of charge sheet and its preparation. Then, to make learners understand about final report and case diary. Now, come to the police reports. There are three different kind of reports to be made by the police officers at three different stages of investigation. First, Section 156 of CRPC, Procedure for Investigation Preliminary Inquiry of the Code requires a preliminary report from the police station to the magistrate. In line of the Section 157, Section 158 provisions for report how submitted, it says every report sent to a magistrate under Section 157 shall, if the state government so directs, be submitted through such superior officer of police as the state government by general or special order appoints in that behalf. Then, such superior officer may give such instruction to the officers in charge of the police station as he thinks fit, and shall, after recording such instruction on such report, transmit the same without delay to the magistrate. Then, in second, Section 168 requires reports from a subordinate police officer to the officer of the station. Section 168 said, when any subordinate police officer has made any investigation under this, shall report the result of such investigation to the officer in charge of the station, police station. Section 173 requires a report of the police officer as soon as investigation is completed to the magistrate competent to take cognizance of the case. Further, there are two kinds of police reports that are made at the completion of the investigation of any case, and the code makes use of no specific expression to differentiate between them. The police manual distinguishes this completion or police report submitted under Section 169 and 170 CRPC as final report and charge sheet respectively. As to final report, Section 169 provision that release of accused when evidence deficient, if upon any investigation under it appears to the officer in charge of the police station that there is not sufficient evidence or reasonable ground of suspicions to justify the forwarding of the accused to a magistrate. Such officer shall, if such person is in custody, release him on his executing a bond with or without sureties, as such officer may direct to appear if and when so required before a magistrate empowered to take cognizance of the offence on a police report and to try the accused or commit him for trial. Now, what is the charge sheet? Charge sheet, a record made in the police station of the charges against a person. After the completion of an investigation, if there is sufficient evidence to warrant the filing of charge sheet against the accused, then the officer in charge of a police station will submit the charge sheet to the magistrate, empowered to take cognizance of the offence. The officer in charge of the police station shall also communicate the action taken by him to the person, if any, by whom the information relating to the commission of offence was first given. After the investigation is completed and a prima facie case is made out, there should be no delay in the submission of the charge sheet. Laws related to charge sheet. There are three kinds of reports to be made by police officer at three different stages of investigation of crime. Section 157 of the CRPC requires preliminary report from the officer in charge of police station to the magistrate. Section 168 CRPC requires report from the subordinate police officer to the officer in charge, and Section 173 of the CRPC requires final report to the police officer as soon as investigation is completed to magistrate. Section 173 subclause 1 lays down that every investigation is required to be completed without unnecessary delay. As soon as it is completed, a report is to be submitted to the magistrate empowered to take cognizance of offence on a police report in the form prescribed by the state government. The police report submitted under this section is called completion or final report. If the report alleges the commission of a crime by an accused person, the report is commonly called the charge sheet or the challan. The police charge sheet corresponds to the completion a private individual on which criminal proceedings are initiated. Submission of charge sheet means that the preliminary investigation and preparation of the case is over and the magistrate can take cognizance of the offence. Now, what are the judicial verdicts related to this? In case of M.L. Sethi versus R.P. Kapoor in 1967, Supreme Court said, until the magistrate received police report under section 173, there can be no intervention by him in his judicial capacity or as court, and until then no occasion can arise for the magistrate to make judicial order in connection with the police investigation. In case of R.K. Dhaunia versus Delhi, court said submission of the report is absolutely necessary. Inordinate delay in submitting final report may lead to the grievance that investigation is carried on unfairly or with some ulterior motive. The police report contains the fact and the conclusion drawn by the police therefrom. Charge sheet is not a complete or accurate basis of the prosecution case. Thus, the police report result of investigation under chapter 12 of the CRPC is a conclusion that an investigating officer draws on the basis of materials collected during investigation, and such conclusion can only form the basis of a competent court to take cognizance thereupon. Under section 190 subclause 1 and b, and to proceed with the case for trial, and it cannot rely on the investigation or the result thereof. The magistrate is expected to apply his judicial mind to the report, and he is not bound by the conclusion drawn by the police. Now, what are the features of charge sheet and its preparation? The charge should be brief and clear. The date, time and place of offence should invariably be mentioned in the charge. In simple cases, the charge sheet shall be prepared by sub-inspector in consultation with the inspector where necessary. In cases involving complicated points of law, the charge sheet should be prepared in consultation with the assistant public prosecutor and also the public prosecutor wherever necessary. In complicated cases, it is advisable to the consult public prosecutor in order to enable the investigation officer to conduct the investigation on proper lines and to collect the type of evidence required by law to bring home the guilt to the accused. In every case in which an accused person previously convicted of an offence punishable under chapter 12 or chapter 16 of Indian Penal Code with imprisonment of either description for a term of 3 years or upwards is prosecuted for an offence punishable under either of the two chapters with like imprisonment, section 75 of the Indian Penal Code should be added in the charge sheet. While all documents or relevant extract thereof on which the prosecution proposes to rely other than those already sent to the magistrate during investigation, and the statement recorded under section 161 of CRPC of all the persons whom the prosecution proposes to examine as its witness should be forwarded to the magistrate along with the report under section 173 of the CRPC. The investigating officer should furnish to the accused copies of the documents. A charge sheet setting forth therein the names of the parties with their full addresses and of the persons who appears to be acquainted with the circumstances of the case, stating whether the accused, if arrested, has been forwarded in custody or has been released on bond, and if so, whether with or without sureties. The names of the such of the accused as are absconding should be entered in red ink in the appropriate column of the charge sheet. Care should be taken to see that all the columns in the charge sheet are filled in properly. No column should be left blank. When a juvenile accused is arrested or prosecuted, information about the age of such accused should invariably be furnished to the court by the police officer taking action in the case to enable the court to determine the age of the accused. Where an accused person against whom a charge sheet is being filed is absconding, the officer in charge of the police station shall append a note on the charge sheet itself, requesting the magistrate to issue a non-bailable warrant for apprehension of the accused. If the warrant cannot be executed within a reasonable time, the station house officer or the investigating officer shall move to the court for instituting proceedings under section 82 and 83 of CRPC. Now, what is the final report? After the completion of an investigation with due diligence, the investigating officer finds that there is no prospect of obtaining any further clue and that nothing more can be done in the case. He will submit a final report treating the case as undetectable without sufficient evidence or report made due to the genuine misunderstanding. But in instances where cases have to be referred as mistake of fact, mistake of law or civil in nature or false, the final report should be submitted forthwith. In cases where accused person or person dies or die before the completion of investigation and no person or persons can be charged, a final report should be sent to the magistrate having jurisdiction. Cases must not be reported as false unless they are clearly so. Mere probability will not suffice. Delay in referring cases as false must be particularly avoided, and cases in which there has been serious delay must be returned as undetectable, unless fresh facts are elicited demonstrating them to be false. In cases disposed of under section 173 and proviso B to subsection 1 of subsection 157 of the CRPC, including charge cases, the police have to serve a notice on the complainant or informant and forward the duplicate duly endorsed with the final report to the magistrate. In cases in which investigation is refused, a copy of the notice will be attached to the first information report sent to the court. Final reports have to be sent through the circle officer, who is bound to forward them to the magistrate without delay, noting upon them any order issued to the station house officer and any remarks that he may have to offer. The inspector may order the station house officer to make further inquiry or do so himself. Now, if order of magistrate on final reports. On receipt of a final report under section 173 of CRPC, referring case as a false or mistake of fact or law or civil nature or undetectable, the magistrate may order further investigation, but it is not open to him to direct the police to charge the case against their own report. Then the magistrate has power to take action himself under section 190 of CRPC if he is not satisfied with the report the police in such a case. The fact that a final report has been sent in a case reporting it as undetected is no bar to further investigation. Further investigation may be taken up suo motu in such cases if any fresh clues are forthcoming or under order of a superior officer. It must be noted that the police are to lay charge sheet only in cases investigated by them. Now, what are the final reports required by section 173 CRPC? That to be submitted to the court on the completion of investigation shall be in the prescribed form stating the names of the parties, the nature of the information, the names of the persons who appear to be acquainted with the circumstances of the case, whether any offence appears to have been committed and if so, by whom, whether the accused has been arrested, whether he has been released on bond and if so, whether with or without sureties, whether he has been forwarded in custody under section 170 or not. The final report or charge sheet shall be sent to the court, which shall include the following papers: list of documents upon which the prosecution relies, memo of the evidence, all statements recorded under section 161 subclause 3 of CRPC if they have not been sent earlier, all documentary evidences which was not been sent earlier, any other documents or papers. Now, what are the features to be remembered while preparing final form or final report? The name of the court shall be indicated, the final report or charge sheet number should be given serially, sections and acts shall be clearly mentioned, the type of final report such as charge sheet, untraced, mistake of fact, etc. shall be clearly indicated, name or names of the investigating officers shall be furnished, details of things or property seized shall be properly accounted and sent in the prescribed list. Particulars of accused person shall be furnished, a separate sheet must be used for each accused. Status of the accused such as bail, absconding, forwarded, etc. shall be mentioned. Particulars of the accused person not charged shall also be furnished. The number of RCs, notices or complainants notices shall be mentioned. List of witnesses to be examined shall be furnished. If the case is a false one, indication about the proposal to take action under section 182 or 211 IPC should be made. Results of forensic science lab report, whether central or state, shall be furnished. Facts of the charge with brief account of the motives, preparation, subsequent and previous conduct, the modus operandi adopted in the property offences shall be presented in clear and legal terms. Now, what is the meaning of case diary? Section 172 CRPC requires that every police officer making an investigation should enter day by day his proceeding in a diary, setting forth the time at which the information reached him, the time at which he began and closed his investigation, the place or places visited by him, and a statement of the circumstances ascertained through his investigation. What is the law related to case diary? Section 172 provision that every police officer making an investigation under this shall day by day enter his proceeding in the investigation in a diary, setting forth the time at which the information reached him, the time at which he began and closed his investigation, the place or places visited by him, and a statement of circumstances ascertained through his investigation. Second, any criminal court may send for the police diaries of a case under inquiry or a trial in such court and may use such diaries not as evidence in the case, but to aid in such inquiry or trial. Third one is, neither the accused nor his agent shall be entitled to call for such diaries, nor shall he or they be entitled to see them merely because they are referred to by the court, but if they are used by the police officer who made them to refresh his memory, or if the court uses them for the purpose of contradicting such police officer, the provision of section 161 or section 145 as the case may be, or the Indian Evidence Act 1872 shall apply. In 2008 amendment to the CRPC in section 172 subsection inserted, which says witnesses recorded during the course of investigation under section 161 shall be inserted in the case diary. The diary shall be a volume and duly paginated. Now, what is the object of case diary? The object of this section or the object of case diary is to enable the magistrate to know what was the day-to-day information by the police officer who was investigating the case and what were the lines of his investigation. Thus, the object of recording case diary is to enable courts to check the method of investigation by the police. Neither the accused nor his agent by operations shall be entitled to call for the diary, not shall be entitled to use it as evidence. Only right given there under it that if the police officer who made the entries in the diary uses it to refresh his memory, or if court wants for the purpose of contradicting such witness, and by operation of section 145. Now, investigation officer or the court, it is therefore clear that unless the investigation officer or the court uses it either to refresh the memory or contradicting the investigating officer, as section 162 or section 144 of Indian Evidence Act says, the entries cannot be used by the accused as evidence. Now, what are the judicial verdict and prerequisite and precautions for case diary? In case Habib Mohammed versus State of Hyderabad, Supreme Court in 1954 says, where the cases for prosecution and defense are both inadequate, the case diary would help the court to discover for itself the material fact which can be brought to light through examination of witnesses and get at the truth in the interest of justice. In second case of State of Kerala versus Babu in 1999, court decided the entries in a police diary should be made with the promptness in sufficient details, mentioning all significant fact in careful chronological order and with complete objectivity. All police officers in charge of a police station are required to keep a diary, and the magistrate of the district is authorized to call for and inspect the same. It is the document under section 91 that can be summoned by the court under section 172 of CRPC, and any criminal court can send for the police diaries or of case under inquiry or trial in such court, and may use such diaries not as evidence in the case, but to aid it in an inquiry or trial. In case of Jyoti Jiban Ghosh in 1964, court said the diary can be used as aid in framing charge against the accused person, but it cannot be used for founding the charge. In another case, A.K. Roy versus State of West Bengal, Supreme Court said that magistrate cannot take cognizance or issue process against the accused on the material contained in the case diary alone unless the fact contained in the report under section 173 constitute the offence. Now, use of case diary for seeking remands. Seeking remands should be applied for along with the case diary. Subsection 1 of section 167 of CRPC requires a copy of the case diary to be sent when remand is sought. The investigating officer should therefore prepare an additional copy of the case diary when he aware that he will have to send a prisoner for remand. The statement recorded under section 161 CRPC till then should also be enclosed to the case diary. Case diary forms should be used for applying to magistrate for warrants of arrest or search or proclamation and other orders connected with the investigation, and for forwarding such list provided these communications refer to registered cases. Ordinarily, the memorandum form will be used. Case diaries should also be written in cases referred by magistrate to the police for investigation under section 155 and 156 or 202 of CRPC. Now, to summarize, a charge sheet is a formal document of accusation prepared by law enforcement agencies. It is distinct from the first information report, which is the core document that describes a crime that has been committed. Usually refers to one or more FIRs and charges an individual or organization for the crimes specified in those FIRs. Once the charge sheet has been submitted to a court of law, the court decides as to who among the accused sufficient prima facie evidence against him to be put on trial. On the other side, in final report, the investigation officer has been not able to produce sufficient evidence for the court to inquire into the offence, and the necessary information is being sent to.